All right, everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Hannah. I'm so happy to have you. And today I wanted to jump into the 5 biggest tips that I have for how you can set up habits that will actually be sustainable in your everyday life. If you're new to my channel, I just wrapped a 10-week Let's Get Healthy Together series where I went through a number of routines and habits that I was trying to establish and shared with everyone when I made them, when I missed them, and the ways that I was able to increase my frequency of each habit throughout those 10 weeks. Implementing those habits led to a lot of huge benefits in my life. I felt a lot more mindful, at peace. Even when I was stressed, I felt that I had a lot better tools to manage that stress. I was far more productive. I was able to handle my finances better. And one really fantastic side effect was I lost over 15 pounds over the course of 10 weeks. So how did I do it? Where did I begin? First things first, and this is not one of the top 5 tips, but you should definitely check out the book Atomic Habits. It's by James Clear. I'm sure you've heard about it a trillion times. You may have even read it already once. I had read it already years ago, but I put the book down and kind of had it on my bookshelf and forgot about it since. Picking that book back up is really what catapulted this entire journey for me. And if you haven't read it, or if you've already read it, but you're feeling a little bit of a rut in your life, I would 1000% recommend that you pick that book up again. So now for my top 5 tips, the biggest takeaways that I have from these last 10 weeks of how I was able to implement workouts, meditations, journaling, skincare, steps every day. I seriously was able to cram so much into these last 10 weeks, and I'm astonished, but it really was an intentional process. And I think that that's the thing. If you are going into it with these 5 tips, you're going to be so much better prepared for whatever that habit is that you're trying to establish or that you're trying to kick. Tip 1 is to stack your habits. You may have heard of this before, but I think the best way to think about it is to either pair your habits together, so I do A and immediately after I do B, or to actually hijack one habit with another habit. So while I do A, I do B. So for instance, this was really helpful for me when it came to working out. I really wanted to use my time wisely, not only in the gym, but also keep my mental game strong. So I used my workout time in order to listen to my podcasts. That's how I was able to stay on top of current events, listen to a ton of motivational, educational, all of the above, pop culture, everything. I really listened to a ton of different things, but it was one thing that I consistently looked forward to when it came to working out. I didn't listen to podcasts in other places. I didn't walk around with podcasts on. I wasn't listening to podcasts during work. My place to podcast was during the gym. So if I wanted to hear that new episode of the podcast I was listening to, I would have to go to the gym in order to do that. And that really made, for those 2 things, it was almost like working out already had a baked in reward. So even before the longer term benefits of, what working out can do for your body, I was benefiting my mind and my mental, emotional health while benefiting my physical health. And best of all, it felt like a treat. So I was able to kind of reward myself for going to the gym more immediately. Back-to-back habits for me would be like meditate and then journal. That for me was one of the best combinations of habits, because once I meditated, I felt so much more in this place of openness and honesty and rawness, that then to move into my journal pages, whether that was promptless or with a prompt, it just felt so much more authentic. So when I would carve out time to meditate, I would meditate for maybe 5 minutes, but I would carve out 10 minutes because I knew that at the end of the meditation, I would want to make sure to save some time for journaling. Tip number 2, and this one's really, really big. I think this might be one of the most important things that you can do when it comes to setting new habits. And that is, where applicable, set a time and stick to it. So for me, if a workout didn't happen in the morning, it was very rare that it did happen. So on the days that I woke up and didn't go to the gym, I almost automatically knew that the odds of me going to the gym were slimmer and slimmer every minute that went by. It could be in reverse for you. Maybe you're a PM gymmer, but the point being that you have to have a time that you commit to doing something, and you have to stick to that time. So rather than I will work out today, it became I will work out when I wake up. I would literally set my alarm, get up, put on my gym clothes, go to the gym. I didn't walk the dog first. I didn't feed the dog first. honestly, I didn't even have a glass of water or a cup of coffee first. It was wake up, put on my clothes, go to the gym. And I knew that that was working for me because for 10 weeks, I was pretty consistently hitting the gym. If I left things more vague and more broad, there's so much more room for error and indecisiveness. If you can take the decision making out of your everyday and just give yourself in advance what those decisions are going to be, it's a time saver, it's a stress saver, and I really feel like it makes or breaks your habits. Tip number 3, don't go from 0 to 60. I think we've all been guilty of this before. You aren't working out, you aren't eating well, you don't read at all, whatever it is that you're trying to start doing. And rather than decide to slowly start implementing something, you decide you're running a marathon, you are only eating green juice for breakfast every day, you're reading 100 pages a night. Like, we are all, I think, so very guilty of overcommitting ourselves and overestimating what we're capable of doing in short periods of time and underestimating what we're able to do with consistency. So my recommendation would be, rather than coming up with some elaborate, very intense 7-day gym plan, come up with something that gets you in the gym 3 days a week, that maybe isn't pushing yourself crazy hard, but at least you're consistently showing up and you can build on that consistency. It was the same thing for me with my skincare. Like, I struggled for so long creating a skincare routine. I struggled even washing my face at night. So for me to be able to say, okay, I don't have to have some 17-step skincare routine. Here are the 3 products I use at night. This is the order that I use them in. It took so much frustration and decision-making out of my day, rather than going from 0 skincare, sleeping in my makeup, to having some 7-step, super expensive nighttime skincare routine. If you can find smaller versions of the habit that you want to create, start by implementing those. If you're not currently working out and you want to be more active, grab your headphones, put on your favorite podcast or call a friend, grab a latte, grab your dog, whatever it is, and go on a walk. Do that once a week, then twice a week, then 3 times a week, then throw in a yoga class, then throw in a weightlifting class, then maybe jog one day. You slowly build on it. It's not week 1, day 1, okay, I'm a bodybuilder now. It's week 1, day 1, I'm gonna start by introducing the idea of these things to my body and see how my body responds and go from there. I genuinely believe that you do not have to be giving your 100% effort every single time, as long as you show up every single time. Habits are about establishing that routine, doing the thing. It's really not about the intensity. The intensity is something you can add later when that routine is already established. What really matters is doing something that has longevity, because we can all do a 20-day, 2-week shred. But what's that going to do for you in the long run? And I can guarantee you that you may want to look cute for your bikini photos in Cabo next week, but you probably want to still look cute and feel that way in 3 weeks, in 5 weeks, in 6 months, in 2 years, whatever it is. And this is one way that you can really be certain to establish those routines and the longevity of your habits. Tip number 4 is to have a super crystal clear why. Why are you doing this? Why do you want to meditate? Why do you want to journal? Why do you want to work out? If you're meditating because it's trendy, because you're seeing everybody on Instagram is meditating, it's not for you. Maybe you'll like it. Maybe it's something that you want to try and you'll find that it's for you, but it's not something that you need to buckle down and create a habit for, because you don't actually have a clear why. If you're just doing it because everyone else is doing it and it doesn't make you feel good, then it's not worth doing. Don't stop doing things that don't make you feel good. Actual tip number 1, actual biggest tip of the night. So instead of doing that and having all of these things you're trying to do and that you're half-assing all the way because you don't actually care about them, you can give so much more to something that you care about and that you actually want to be doing. So if meditation is something that you want to be doing, have a clear why. Are you super stressed out at work? Do you have a difficult time dealing with confrontation? Are you really negative? Are you feeling depressed? Are you feeling down? There are a number of reasons that someone could want to start meditating. Find out what yours is and apply that to any of these habits. Why do you want to work out? Why do you want to eat better? Why do you want to read more? Why do you want to listen to podcasts? Why do you want to journal? Whatever they are, really find what your why is. Ideally, it's not an external why. It's really focused on bettering yourself, and keep that at the forefront through everything that you do. Tip number 5, rest. when you're resting, use your rest time to rest. This is so hard. And this was one of the things that was hardest for me and remains hard for me, balancing 2 jobs, a YouTube channel, trying to get my Instagram back up and running. Don't forget to check me out on Instagram. It's so difficult sometimes to use your rest time to properly rest because we are so bred to be in a hustle culture. It's so jarring to us to think that we can actually just sit, not even watch TV, not even just sit in silence, just read without your phone, just take a bath, just. And that's the thing. When you are hacking so much of your time and being so productive and staying on top of so many things, there are going to be times that you need to just be. Let go of everything else that you have going on. Try to relax. Try to let go of your routines and your habits just for a couple of minutes, even if it's only 30 minutes, 60 minutes a day. Carve out time that is strictly to relax. Don't be on your phone. Don't be watching TV. Don't be doing other things that are going to be elevating your stress, reminding you of work things that are going on, making you feel unproductive, making you compare yourself to others. Use your rest time to truly rest. Get 8 hours of sleep. Drink your water. Don't forget to stretch. Properly rest your body so that when you are doing these more intensive habit building activities, you can have all the strength and energy that you need. One last thing I wanted to share. This is a bonus tip, and I really think that it's important. We are watching what so many other people do. This is a culture of content, and we're constantly seeing and comparing what other people are doing to ourselves. Biggest tip that I can give when you see what other people are doing, myself included, is to modify. Take what someone else is doing and find what fits with you, apply it to you, and leave the rest. If it does not apply to you, if it does not resonate with you, if it's not a hell yes, it's a hell no, find the things that you love, that you value, that you get lit up about, and do those things. If that girl morning routine you watch on YouTube involves a protein shake in the morning that she's obsessed with and it's the best thing that ever happened to her, but you're not a shake girly, don't have the shake. It's okay. Modify what works for you. You cannot be another person. So don't try to be. Take bits and pieces and an inspiration from other people, but don't be afraid to say, that doesn't resonate with me. My habit's going to be shaped by X, Y, and Z instead. I really hope that this was a helpful video for you all and that you gained something from this. I've been really enjoying learning how habits and routines work and implementing them in my life, and I have a couple of new things that I'm going to be trying out in the coming weeks. So be sure to subscribe to my channel so you can get updates for all of my content. I post videos every Monday morning. Follow me on Instagram where you can also get a little bit more of the fashion content, a little bit more of my daily life with Callie. And I really look forward to continuing this journey with you all. Please leave a comment. Let me know if there's anything that you'd be interested in learning more about, if any of this content resonated with you, or if there's any habits or routines that you want me to try. I'm happy to be your try girl. And share this content if you think it will resonate with anyone else as well. Until next time, I wish you all the best in creating your new habits, and I will talk to you next week.